Welcome to Grapevine with your host, Wanda Williams. I have an awesome guest with me today. He's in Atlanta, GA, Mr. Williams Shelton. He's a businessman, entrepreneur, and he's very successful. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? My name is Williams Shelton. I'm founder of Atlanta Black Business Network Incorporated. I'm also the owner of Esteem Services. Esteem Services provides carpet cleaning and commercial cleaning services in the Metro Atlanta area. I also helped found Next Pro Pest Control Services, which is owned by my father 8 years ago. So I'm happy to be here, Wanda. Thank you for inviting me to your show, to the Grapevine. I'm happy that you extended the invite.
I'm glad that you're here because you have an organization. Tell us about that. Give us the name and tell us how you got that started.
Started Atlanta Black Business Network around about 5 years ago. About 5 years after I started my commercial cleaning service, and I figured that, through social media, we can start a network to help promote Black-owned businesses in and around Metro Atlanta, to help startups grow and maintain themselves within a network amongst themselves and expand their businesses throughout Metro Atlanta and abroad and around the nation. So right. I started this up, and it, initially I wanted it to be, a social media following, a couple thousand people, but it ballooned to around 25,000 people on the Facebook group, 5,500 on the fan page, and we have a growing following. We just started the Instagram page, and we have a Twitter page as well. And you can visit those at www.facebook.com/ABBN.org. That's ABBNORG. We're going to be doing a Black business tour with one of our members who owns a party bus business. So what we're gonna do is, during the daytime hours when the party bus is not really running, we're going to do party bus tours around the city to different Black-owned businesses. And we're going to show people the plethora of type of businesses are in and around Metro Atlanta in those party buses.
Now, anybody can join, right? Because I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You're in Atlanta. So I'm thinking about possibly moving to Atlanta, so I'm trying to get some connections already.
Right.
Know some of the businesses that are there, or some people that can help me out and show me the ropes a little bit. Is that possible?
It is, and actually, Wanda, people like you are who we're really going after, and who this group resonates with. I get most of my contacts. People who contact me are people from out of state, actually, and some of the first members when we first started were from out of state. We had one gentleman, he joined from Canada, and he had a digital-based business. So I know a lot of Black people have digital-based businesses. So, this is a good platform to start on in that arena.
Right, and get to know other people in other cities and things, and just come visit and check it out and see if you like it, and meet, and you don't feel alone, because you'll be able to meet somebody there that you've been connecting with for a couple months or whatever, and they can kind of show you around. Now, I know that you said what is the name of your business again?
Esteem Services. That's my businesses, and Next Pro Pest Control. Those are the two businesses. Those are my everyday businesses that I make money with. I still work. I still, I'm a regular person. But Atlanta Black Business Network is something that's near and dear to me. Something that I think is necessary for the Black community at large. We need different platforms, and we do have several organizations out here that do help Black people. But I think we need more that focus on Black business ownership, not just like job programs and job creation programs. We need business creation programs and business creation platforms to help Black people start businesses and maintain their businesses and grow their businesses, scale their businesses up.
Most important thing about having a business, because having a business isn't easy, because you're the one that have to have that get up and go and monitor the things that you do the things, the advertising and all this. You need that motivation. So what would you say about that? Having a business? Some people can't forget it. I can't do it. It's too hard.
Right. Having a business, the most important thing about having a business is it's a reposition of how your mental framework operates. Like if you have to have self-discipline in order to start a business. And if you're hanging around and you're networking with people who already are business owners, they can give you some ideas and some suggestions on how to formulate systems to maintain a business. And the reason is important to have businesses because let's just keep it simple. Can you pass down a job?
No.
Wanda? You can't pass a job down to your kids. You can pass a business down to your kids. You can't pass a job down to your kids. And having a business entity is also important. It can create financial freedom and movability. You can move around a little bit better when you do have businesses and you earn more with the business. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I can't really say what business is a good business. I think a good business is whatever the person's strengths are mm-hmm. and what they build on or what skill sets they already have. So, you know, and here in Atlanta, there's plenty of Black people doing business, and it's a great place to come to do that. But you do have to have some get up and go. You do have to have self-discipline, and you do have to have the mental framework in order to maintain a business.
Definitely, because it is a lot of work. Trust me, I know, because I produce myself. I do photography and everything, and you got to be motivated every day. If somebody wants you to do some work for them, you got to go do it.
You got to go do it.
Yeah, you got to go do it, and then you got to keep promoting and keep doing. I'm always trying to get guests from my show and doing other things too. So being an entrepreneur doesn't just mean you're just doing one thing. You may have your regular day job.
Right.
You may have 2 or 3, 4 other businesses on the side. So that can become time.
That's true. And I'll tell you this one, I had an experience, my old high school secretary, she does acting, extra work. So she said, you know, my former job, I used to be a police officer. So she's like, hey, Tyler Perry needs a extra for one of his shows. He said, maybe you should apply and go out to it. So I went out and I applied and I went out to it. And when I was on set, I actually didn't get it wasn't a role for a police officer, but it was like a guest, a visitor at a hospital scene. And lo and behold, they said cut. And I see Mr. Perry, he walks out and he's still working. I said, wow, this man, he's working like everybody else. So, I mean, you know, it goes to show, like, doesn't matter how much money you make, doesn't matter how big or successful you are, you're still on the field. He's still out there with his employees doing everything that they're doing. He's working, he's directing, he's calling shots on this scenes that may seem that they may not even use.
Right.
You know, but he's still there working. So it's like you gotta have you got to maintain the hunger and that fortitude to keep going and keep pushing yourself, to keep going with your business. And you have to know, like you said, all facets of your business. You gotta do photography. You may have to do your own makeup. You may have to do your own wardrobe. You have to do that stuff until you can get to the point in a position where you can hire people who can do it for you. And
some people feel as a director or producer, they want to be the one to do it. Even if they can afford to, they want to be the one controlling everything. I want this to look like this, and I'm going to do this. And it's kind of hard sometimes to let go and say, hey, I'm going to have this person do this and this person do that. Sometimes it's hard when you're used to doing it by yourself. And that's how I am.
And that's something that a lot of us need to learn how to do. We have to, and even me, I have to learn how to delegate. You know, I'm supposed to meet with somebody now that's going to help me with my business, and help with some of the workload, because it's like, I can't do it all.
Right.
And that's why, you know, I created something like the Atlanta Black Business Network, because a lot of us, you know, as Black people here in the United States, we weren't raised owning our own businesses or seeing a infrastructure where our families own businesses. So let's say that we do have some Black business owners who grew up in situations like that, and they can actually help people with their infrastructure so they can get on their feet and their foothold to run a business and implement that in their family dynamic, you know. So that's why I created something like this. So basically the leaders can lead by example in a fashion that can help others build themselves up, because we all want to be successful, but a lot of us don't know how to become successful.
You know, what's going on in Atlanta? Because I also went into some other groups in Atlanta, and especially the groups, they're looking for extras, for actors, they're looking for filmmakers. They're always looking for people to do commercials. I noticed that is the mecca of media, isn't it?
I say it's still in the infancy stage. I think it's still in a stage that has a lot of room for growth. Like, for example, we have a member Mr. Campbell, Michael Campbell, who's the CEO and founder of Black on Purpose Television. He's based here in Atlanta, and they're Black-owned, it's called Black on Purpose, so they do a lot of Black media content. They're accessible, still, because they're still on the ground floor, working. So like I said, it's in the infancy stage. It's a lot of people coming here doing work out of Hollywood, but I think it's still a lot of room for growth here in Atlanta.
Most definitely. So like I said, a lot of people are saying, I want to go to Atlanta. I'm going to go to Atlanta. And there is a lot of competition there. Is there room for everybody, you think, in Atlanta? Because everyone's I'm going to Atlanta.
It's not room for everybody.
It's not room for everybody.
Only the strong can survive.
Only the strong.
You can come here. There are people who come here because people have these delusions of grandeur. They think they're going to come here and it's going to just fall in their lap. That's not the case by no means. I mean, the landscape here in Atlanta, you do have to work hard. I mean, you do have to develop and build networks of people. I mean, by no means am I my network is as strong as it should be. I mean, it can be stronger. It's just like yours, I'm sure. There's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. So, that's why we're here working. So it's like it's people here working. This is a relatively small city for when it is. I mean, the circles are small here. I mean, because you have a lot of people here, but everybody's not working. Everybody's not doing the work. It's like you reached out to me and you took the initiative to reach out and research me and look up the Atlanta Black Business Network. Everybody's not doing that. They think somebody should give them the opportunity, but you actually have to reach out and you have to take opportunities. So everybody's not doing that. So it is a environment or a place that is ripe for workers, people who are diligent in their nature. So if you're a diligent person and you have ambition, sure, you could come here and you can make it. You can make money because there is money here.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
There's money here.
I've been offered to come out there before.
But no one's just going to hand it to you. But I mean, like I said, if you have a system in place where you can make and maintain that money, then Atlanta's a great place to be. But if you don't, then it may not be that great for you. Some people may want to come here and think it's going to come easy. Nothing comes easy. Success is not easy. The people who you see that are successful, they just make the stuff that's hard to regular people look easy because they're used to it. They've grown used to it over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Do stuff that may seem it's easy to me, but it may not be easy to everybody else.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You have to, it's like exercising. And once you stop exercising, what happens to your muscles? They start to atrophy. They start to break down and they get weaker. So you have to exercise your skill sets. You have to exercise your mind. You have to exercise even your body to maintain a certain level of business integrity out here. So if you don't do that, then you're gonna get overtaken.
What is your philosophy of owning your own businesses and you inspire other people to do that? What is your philosophy?
I feel that you have to know yourself and you got to know your strengths and you got to improve on your weaknesses. It's a rhythm. So if you find your rhythm in it, then you can make it. You can make money. Because a lot of us, we get into business. A lot of us get overwhelmed when we try to start business. So we like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. And then it gets jumbled in the head. And then eventually it's shut down. You become a procrastinator.
I think sometimes we also do fall into a trap that where we talk about what we want to do sometimes. And you say procrastinate. And then we throw these ideals out to maybe our family members and friends. And they kind of like, oh, come on. Are you kidding? Just get a job.
That's what a lot of people told me. They said, man, won't you just go get a job? Business people are unique individuals. Entrepreneurs are unique because sometimes you got to go against that grain, and you can't listen to everybody else because I feel that most people are not built for business all the time. Some people aren't built for it. If they were, everybody be in business and nobody would make money.
Okay.
So you have to have consumers out here. That's like you have to have producers. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's not built for it, and and some people are naysayers. They're gonna tell you don't do it. But like I said, a lot of us weren't raised to be business owners. We were just raised to do the get a job and then retire. But we know that the landscape of how the economy is going now, it's not really like that. It's not like 50, 60 years ago where you can go straight out of high school, get a factory job, earn a good living, buy a house, car, kids, go to school, boom, everybody's all good and everybody's fed. It's not happening like that.
When we say Black business, that doesn't mean that we only deal with the Black.
Right. It doesn't. That's
people
right.
get that wrong. Look, you're a Black business. You only deal with Black people.
No.
Atlanta is a melting pot. They have all kind of people there.
Right.
We are a Black-owned business talking about ourselves, but that doesn't mean we just work with
Black people. Right.
We don't work with no other people. It's just a Black business, and that's it. No, they get the wrong ideal about that.
No, that's not the case. I mean, you have networks around. Everybody has networks. You know, you have Jewish networks, business networks. You have Asian networks, Latin and Hispanic networks. I mean, everybody has networks. So I mean, we should have our networks too. You know, people prejudge Black-owned businesses, and they may put stereotypes on people who on our businesses, and that's what it is up to people like me and you to thwart those misconceptions and stop those misconceptions from hitting the air,
Right.
And if they do hit the air, we should stop it. We be like, okay, look, we have businesses and they're worth your time and day.
Right. For everybody.
Because everybody would feed off of us, and everybody would feed off of the cultures and the dynamics that we bring to all sorts of businesses and fields of business, and they would cut us out of it in the long run. I mean, we've seen that throughout history.
Right.
So it's time for us to be like, hey, look, we need our just due. It's just like I was listening to Dame Dash. Dame Dash said this today. He said he has a book called Culture Vultures, and he said people will be vultures over our culture, but when it comes time for you to give back to the culture, they don't want to give back, and that's what we need. We need organizations like Atlanta Black Business Network to protect the culture and protect our business infrastructure, so people like you, Wanda, Williams Show can survive, and not survive but thrive. And get those big contracts with these big networks, and it's not about selling out. It's about getting contracts and making money like everybody else is making money, so you can move freely like you want to move. Because my philosophy on business is it's movement. If you stop someone's movement, if you stop a river from flowing, what happens? It dies.
What do you hope for the future of your networking? Give me the name again, and what do you hope to see for the future of that, your network?
Future of Atlanta Black Business Network, and I want to see it merge with other people doing the same thing, because like I said, it's educational for first and foremost in its character. So I wanted to merge with other groups. We've already have relationships with Black CEO founded by Trevor Otts. He has a great national network, and he's based in Maryland, but he's all over the country, coast to coast. And he had an event here last year, and we were one of the sponsors. And I mean, he had some awesome information. Michael Campbell, Black on Purpose Television. And it's a plethora of people that we want to work with. Now,
give me that information again. Where they can find you on Facebook.
Facebook is Atlanta Black Business Network Incorporated. This is our logo. It says ABBN, and it has the statue of John Wesley Dodds, the bust of his head that's in the city, and then it has a picture of him holding up a sign in protest of a business that wouldn't let Black people patronize them. So that's our logo. It has 24,000 people in the group. And on the fan page, there's 5,500 people.
I'm going to ask you, if you had to give anybody advice, and we're getting ready to go, we're going to wrap. This is like our wrap up here. If you had to give any advice, one thing is the most important thing in being an entrepreneur, what would you say?
Stay persistent. Persistence.
Thank you, William, for being my guest on Grapevine.
Thank you, Wanda, for inviting me to Grapevine. And I hope to see you when you get here to Atlanta. Just let me know when you touch down.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
And thank you for joining me. This has been Wanda Williams Grapevine. Thank you for joining me. Much love.